G'day, Paul. We are back for the first time in a couple of weeks. We seem to be taking a lot of breaks lately. And this time I am back in my home office and you are out and about.
Yeah, we're keeping it fresh. I'm in the garage of my in-laws, and you were jet setting last time we did it, and you're back home. So we're keeping it fresh for the people, Mal.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Got to keep the background interesting so there's something good for them to, different for them to look at, just mixing up a little bit. So it's been a big couple of weeks, and we actually have a viewer request in terms of the topic we are going to cover today. But this time of year, we are down to the end of financial year, everyone's favorite time of year. Hopefully, everyone's EOFS sales have gone well, and you're actually going to be finishing them on end of financial year, and they don't drag into like July sales. It's been a bit of a mixed bag. I feel. I think there's some retailers who've done quite well through this period, but the word on the street, whether it be some of the bigger retailers, I know that from speaking with some colleagues at the likes of Harvey Norman, JB Hi-Fi, and the good guys, that they have experienced a significantly quieter period than other years. Your take?
That's unsurprising, I think. Going back to just the climate we're in, high interest rates, and those interest rates are high to get us to spend less, and we are spending less. Um, so I guess that's unsurprising. There are still retailers that I think are going pretty well. Um, as you say, June 30 today, so happy early New Year. Um, and so it's funny, I didn't get personally as excited around June 30 sales because I feel like they're on every month now. And I do think there's some like desensitivity to sales now. My daughter's gonna join. So I think that they've lost their I think that I think that they've lost their special feeling, I guess, because everybody's on sale over the last 3 or 4 months. Some brands are going on sale every 2 months. So I think June sales used to be a lot more special, and I'm typically seeing not the huge numbers
Mm.
that you usually get, with the exception of, I would say, who is Elijah, the perfume brand I've been working with, had a great promo, protected their margins well, and hit just off their first $300,000 day this month. So they did beautifully well, but also worth noting that they don't go on sale much.
Mm.
So that's the key. That when they finally did go on sale, it wasn't a huge deal. People just jumped on it. So I
Mm.
think too much discounting going on generally.
Yeah, yeah. I think a couple of other clients who we work with, Keisha, sleepwear brand, doing it in a year sale, end of financial year sale, but for very good reasons. They're doing it to clear stock so they can get ready for next financial year. So all the old slow moving styles, they're just looking to clear that out, get that out of there, and actually using sales for the right purpose, which we talk about a lot. So rather than doing a site wide 40% off or something like that, actually strategically using sales to move slow moving stock. Funny, they actually saw a retailer the other day who still had a Click Frenzy banner on their site. And I was like, oh, Click Frenzy that was
A
like
while ago.
May or April. I can't even remember anymore. And they
Well,
still
hang
had it
on.
on there.
Is he or she just a really early, really good planner for the next one in
August.
October,
Yeah. I think
August?
there's one. I can't remember. I can't keep up. I can't keep up. Which actually brings us to the viewer question. So we had a viewer actually ask us. I'm not going to name her because I don't know if she actually wants us to name her. Who raised the fact that Click Frenzy have actually brought forward their major event. So the Click Frenzy main event, which is normally around November, so right before Black Friday, they've brought it all the way forward to October 24th, I see, which is incredibly early to be kicking off because even though people may not officially participate in Click Frenzy, they still do their XYZ Frenzy sale. And then soon after that, Green Friday, Peter Koudouris, who's ex Click Frenzy, his green sustainability sale, retail initiative, that's happening in early November, I believe, followed by Black Friday Actual, which is still an end of November. So it very much seems that we're gonna go into this period of having, like, it feels like from mid-October through the entirety of November, and then into the Christmas season of December, and then the doldrums of January, when everyone's going to be doing anything they can to get any sort of revenue, that we could potentially be looking at a period of 4 months of consecutive promo.
We're looking at 12 months then.
It has been pretty much feels like 12 months. So we're just rolling from one promo to another. This whole year for many retailers just feels like they're just constantly on sale.
Yeah, and that's because people are holding too much inventory. And that's because inventory is a drug, and people think they need more and more and more. And I say you need less and less and less. But I think it's an interesting one. Click Frenzy is in my opinion, too close to Black Friday. Now, I don't mind the idea of separating it from like a commercial point of view for them. There's just too much noise, and you've got to seriously believe that a month, 6 weeks out from cyber, consumers must be saving their money, right? They know what's coming. So I don't know if it's a bad idea. Like, yeah, okay. So now it does extends the discounting period for retailers. Let's be honest, Mel. I don't think retailers are going to mind that. The majority of retailers out there are just going to jump straight onto it anyway. I think, would they get more money out of it? Probably by separating it. I think a bigger share of wallet with less noise around that time, maybe not a bad idea. Yeah, but for the retail calendar, it's there's a lot of sales on, and I just keep thinking. My dream is that, if I was starting an e-commerce brand tomorrow, and I'm trying to with you, my dream is, I'll tell you how many times we would go on sale. None. And then we just wouldn't care about all this. So I think it's, I get it. You got too much stock, you got to clear it. But for the love of God, it's too much discounting.
I don't think we're making a rod as an industry. We're also making a rod for our own back as well, because we're now, like, we always talk about training customers to only buy from us and sell. And as an entire retail sector, this is what we're doing, by just saying, hey, we're on sale all the time. So what happens when we're off sale? That lull post sale is going to be harder and harder for us to get out of, because consumers are now being 100% trained just to wait until something's on discount. It's bad enough that, with Google Shopping and things like that, they're already looking for the lowest common denominator, who's selling that widget at the lowest possible price. But now they're also then looking for who's doing a promo. So rather than buying things when they need it, they'll just wait. So, and then when we do the sales, we're going to have to go bigger and deeper to try to attract more revenue, which then cuts further into the margins, but also brings more revenue forward as well. So the sales, which we would have got organically through maybe December, January, February, we're just getting that earlier. I remember last year, a lot of retailers were saying that they had mammoth Novembers, but terrible Decembers. And all I think that happened was that they just brought those sales forward because they went super deep. They went super deep on Black Friday because we trained everyone that Black Friday is going to be the biggest sale of the year, although every retailer now says this is our biggest sale of the year. And they do that biggest sale of the year. So everyone knows that if I'm going to buy this product, I might as well buy it then, and then no one buys in December now.
That's a great point. And think about this. We train our customers to wait till we're on sale, and they do. And think about those brands that don't go on sale. They train their customers in the reverse. They train their customers that we're going to drop a product and you might miss out. And what's the behavior where we are, what's that Pavlovian conditioning or whatever?
Yeah.
But the next moment is, oh, that brand's dropping again. I'm going to purchase really quickly because I don't want to miss out. As opposed to, oh, that brand's going to go on sale any moment now. I'm going to wait. So they're the two ways that we can condition our customers. I hope you can't hear this
Not at all. It's dead silent over there.
Is it really? Oh, okay. But I think the other challenge, Mal, is if you're selling products that are everywhere else, if you're selling products that are on Amazon, if you're selling products that you've got to go on sale to get a portion of the sale. Like, if everyone else has got your product or similar, and it's got no moat around it, as you say, you got to go on sale. But if you're one of those brands that's special, and then you've got that moat, people can't copy you. They can try, but they don't have your magic, your magic,
Hmm.
you don't need to go on sale because people will wait for your product.
Hmm.
So it comes down to like not being lazy with your product and your brand as well. And this is why I'm not into drop shipping. I'm not into selling commodity. I'm not into that. That's boring. If you're going to sell generic products, I hope you've got a big marketing budget and you're not prepared to make big profits because you're going up against
And you've got
big players.
and your OpEx is just like really, really
Oh,
lean, ridiculously lean
yeah.
OpEx.
You look at Chinese manufacturers now, gearing up that more and more they're focused on selling on Amazon. I mean, they're going to undercut everybody. So if your plan is to compete on price on generic products, forget about it. So, I love those brands that create something and got a little bit of, either a product that really solves a problem, they've invented something, or they've just got a brand that's really special.
And I think a lot of it just comes back down to when you're building your product, when you're building your retail business, to really think about what that strategy is. Like, how are you going to differentiate in market? How are you going to grow? From my experience working with a lot of different founders, I'm sure you have, I think there's always this fear of missing out in terms of missing out on revenue. So always ordering, always restocking because one person might need this product, one person might want that. So you're constantly ordering again and again, over ordering because you think you need to meet all this demand, where it's actually okay to sell out. It's actually okay to sell out. And when I hear people who are buying specifically for Black Friday, like they need to stock up for Black Friday to then discount it at 50%, it always makes me think, why? Why are you deliberately buying things to sell at a discount? Might as well just give it
Yeah,
away.
yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? And those companies that need the revenue and they focus on essentially often what's happening is they're spending too much each month to run their business. And so they need that to break even. They need $1 million a month, 800,000 to make a small profit. But the good businesses make profit on slow months and they're
Hmm.
absolutely cruising. They're cruising. They're just ticking away, making their 20% on a low month. And then they kick into gear to go on sale when their balance sheet tells them to go on sale. But if you're relying on like the back end of the year to bring the profit home, that's high risk, right? Like let's just say lightning strikes and Cyber Week disappears. What have you got left? What are you left with?
Hmm.
So I just think it's not cutting the mustard. And the litmus test is how you're doing in January and February, not November and December.
Yeah, I think if your financial plan revolves around doing 40% of your rev in 1 month, I would revisit that financial plan. I've seen some of those before.
Yeah, definitely. And look, some are seasonal, and that's different. But just like getting by so that we can then go on sale for 40%, it's not my idea of fun.
Yeah. So the TLDR for this is I hear that we're both advocating for the same thing, which is we've got to slow down. I think as a sector we just need to slow down, and eventually we're going to need to rip the band-aid off. And for me, the earlier we do it, the better. The earlier we can train consumers again to buy at full RRP, the better for us as a whole. And some of it may mean taking a bit of a hit and slowing things down for a little bit. And it's almost like we need to deliberately just cool everything down, just like how the RBA is trying to cool down the economy. We almost need to cool down retail and just accept the fact that, hey, do you know what? As a sector, we're going to have like a period of slowness, of lower rev, but that's for long-term gain because we're just going to rip the band-aid off, accept the fact we're going to go on full price. Consumers will relearn. They'll adapt because they'll still need those things. And in 3-6 months, they'll be happy to pay for them at full price again.
Yeah, and I think, obviously this is easy for us to say to retailers, but, some actual ways that you can implement this, order less, right? If you order less, but you sell out, you will be in an infinitely better cash flow position than if you over order and don't sell out. I can promise you that. So keep your cash high. So therefore you don't need to go on sale because you've got the cash. So that's really getting the ordering right is part of what's stopping you the need to go on sale. And I think the other thing is if you're one of those brands that needs to discount to get your sales, rethink your product. If you're a small business owner that's just starting out, shut your shop for 3 months. Go back to the drawing board, find that right product. If you're a bigger business, reinvent your product strategy in FY24. What can you drop? Do you increase the frequency of your drops? Do you order less stock but do it more often? Go wider with your breadth. Do you actually engage a product engineer and design a product rather than just import a product?
Mm.
So I think these are all the things that you can do so that you're stopping discounting, but for good reason. Um, so discounting's lazy. Back to the drawing board. Product, all that good stuff.
And on that note, Paul, I'm going to leave you to it. You have a great weekend with the family.
Yeah, you too, Mal. Chat to you. Chat to you in
Yeah,
5
in about
minutes.
half
We've
an
got
hour.
another
Yeah,
meeting.
yeah, yeah. All right. See
All
you.
right, see you, Mal.